served as a test for new D-54T and D-54TS 100mm smoothbore guns and Rajaga and Molniya stabilization systems, which were later used in the T-62. These were not completely successful, so further T-55 development continued to use the D-10 series guns. It was fitted with V-54-6 engine developing 581 HP, 433 kilowatts. It never went.
Yes, I'm not going to stop again, but I have 3 videos I need to put public, and this can take 1 hour more. And I do this because I like to read it, so I cannot go here and sit 5 minutes, because then the computer voice will just continue reading, and I'm always thirsty. So now I did record this video today, and my internet connection was super slow today. So it took like 2 hours to upload this. So now I like to have it public. And actually I need to go to bathroom. And I had one of the video I have to add to my playlists. Yes, I need 1 minute. I need to go to my bathroom because I'm drinking so much juice. I'm drinking so much juice and water every day. I need to get out again. And I have to refresh the news, reload the news. Yes, I'm fine, but it's very complicated, this change. There's so many numbers, and yes, I need to go 1 minute to my bathroom. For some old man. Yes, I'm back, and I'm sorry. But I do this because I like to read it. Now I'm thirsty again. I need some more to drink, and I need to go back to my bed. It really takes many hours to read this document because there's so much information, so many numbers. Because this this documents on Wikipedia that some all kinds of experts around the whole world have writing information and numbers and dates. So some is you cannot remember that because that's too complicated. That's too much information. But I like to read it anyway. And, that's the same when I read about computer chips. This Intel computer chips, they are very complicated. How you are designing computer processors, that's super complicated. That's really high level science and electronic. I'm collecting on old computer processors. So read, this is why this video is calling looking at PC gamer hardware. So I have to get back reading about computer hardware, but not do now. Now we are trying to read about tanks. I have all the papers there, everything is ready. Just takes many months to read it. But now I'm reading this. And now I'm thirsty again. I have to go back to my bed. Now I'm freezing. I have to fix my bed because I'm freezing. Yes, let's try to continue. But nobody is watching this, but I don't care. I like to read it. Then I did the record on video, and probably nobody will see this, but this is not why I do this.
Into production. 7, a new version, based on T-54, designated T-54B, Object 137G2, was designed in 1955. It was fitted with a new 100mm D10T2S tank gun with STP-2 Zyklon 2-plane stabilizer. It entered production in 1957. During the last 4 months of production, the new tanks were equipped with an L2 lunar infrared searchlight, a TPN-1-22-11IR gunner's sight, and an OU-3IR commander's searchlight. Modern APFSD ammunition was developed, dramatically enhancing the penetrative performance of the gun to keep it competitive with NATO armor developments. T-54B served as the basis for T-54BK command tank, which had exactly the same additional equipment as the T-54AK command tank. 7. T-55. The T-55 front, rear and side elevations trials with nuclear weapons showed that a T-54 could serve EVA 215 KT nuclear charge at a range of more than 300 meters, 980 feet, from the epicenter, but the crew had a chance of surviving at a minimum of 700 meters, 2,300 feet. It was decided to create an NBC, nuclear biological, and chemical, protection system which would start working 0.3 seconds after detecting gamma radiation. The task of creating a basic PAS, Protivotonaya Zashkita, NBC protection system offering protection against the blast of a nuclear weapon and radioactive particulate filtration, but not against external gamma radiation or gas. 8. Was given to the KB-60 Design Bureau in Kharkiv and was completed in 1956. The documentation was sent to Ural-Vagan-Zavod. It was decided to increase the tank's abilities by changing its construction and introducing new production technologies. Many of those changes were initially tested on the T-54M, Object 139. The tank was fitted with the new V55 12-cylinder 4-stroke 1-chamber, 38.88-litre water-cooled diesel engine developing 581 HP, 433 kilowatts. Engine power was increased by raising the pressure of the fuel delivery and charging degree. The designers planned to introduce a heating system for the engine compartment and MC1 diesel fuel filter. The engine was to be started pneumatically with the use of an AK-150S charger and an electric starter. This eliminated the need for the tank to carry a tank filled with air. To allow easier access during maintenance and repairs, it was decided to change hatches over the engine compartment. To increase the operational range, 300 liters, 66 imp gal, 79 US gal, fuel tanks were added to the front of the hull, increasing the overall fuel capacity to 680 liters, 150 imp gal, 180 US gal. The original T-55 lacked an anti-aircraft machine gun mount. The ammunition load for the main gun was increased from 34 to 45, with 18 shells stored in so-called wet containers located in hull fuel tanks, the concept for which came from Kartsev's cancelled Object 140. The ammunition load included high explosive fragmentation and anti-tank rounds, and designers also planned to introduce the BK-5M high explosive anti-tank heat rounds which penetrated 390 mm, 15 in thick armor. The TPKU commander's vision device was replaced by either the TPKU-B or TPKU-2B. The gunner received a TNP-165 vision device. The loader's hatch-mounted 12.7mm DSHK anti-aircraft heavy machine gun was dropped, because it was deemed worthless against high-performance jets. The tank was supposed to be equipped with the ROSA fire protection system. The tank had a thicker turret casting and the improved two-plane gun stabilization system from the T-54B, and night vision fighting equipment. To balance the weight of the new equipment, the armor on the back of the hull was thinned slightly. The T-55 was superior to the IS-2, IS-3, and T-10 heavy tanks in many respects, including the rate of fire off gun, at least 4 compared to fewer than 3 rounds per minute. Despite somewhat thinner frontal turret armor, 200 mm, 7.9 in, instead of 250 mm, 9.8 in, it compared favorably with the IS-3, due to its improved anti-tank gun and better mobility. Heavy tanks soon fell from favor, with only 350 IS-3s produced. 9. The old model of highly mobile medium tanks and heavily armored heavy tanks was replaced by a new paradigm, the main battle tank. Parallel developments in the West would produce similar results. Kartsev combined all the ongoing improvements being offered, or planned, on the T-54 into one design. 9. This became the Object 155. And entered production at Eurowagenzavodde the 1st of January 1958 as the T-55. 10. It was accepted for service with the Red Army on the 8th of May. It suffered a significant lapse in one area. There was no anti-aircraft machine gun, which had been present on the T-54. 10. After 1959. It served as a basis for the T-55K command tank, which was equipped with an additional R112 radio set, an AB-1P /30 fuel-powered accumulator charging unit, and TPN-1-22-11 night vision sight. This additional equipment made it necessary to decrease the ammunition load for the main gun to 37 rounds and eliminate the bow machine gun. In the beginning of the 1960s, a T-55K was experimentally fitted with a urine TV relay apparatus for battlefield surveillance. The tank was fitted with an external camera, the picture from which was relayed to a receiver in a BTR-50PU command vehicle. There was an observation camera mounted on a folding mast which was in turn mounted on a UAZ-69 car. The range within which picture could be relayed varied between 10 and 30 kilometers, 6.2 and 18.6 mi. In 1961, a T-55 tank was used to test the Almas TV complex, which was supposed to replace their standard observation devices right after a nuclear explosion or while fording a body of water. There was a camera mounted on the hull for the driver and two cameras mounted on the turret, one for aiming and one for observation, and the picture from the cameras was relayed to two control screens. The tank had the front hull fuel tanks and bow machine gun removed. The commander was seated in the driver's usual position while the driver sat next to him. The cameras allowed battlefield observation and firing during daytime at ranges between 1.5 and 2 kilometers, 0.93 and 1.24 mi. Because of the low quality of the equipment, the trials gave negative results. In the beginning of the 1960s, the OKB-29 Design Bureau in Omsk was working on adapting the tank to a GTD-3T gas turbine engine developing 700 HP, 522 kilowatts. One T-55 tank fitted with this gas turbine engine passed trials but was deemed unsatisfactory and the design did not go into production. The Omsk OKB-29 group tested 3 experimental T-55 tanks, designated Object 612, between 1962 and 1965 that were fitted with an automatic gearbox controlled by electro-hydraulic systems. The trials found that such gearboxes were prone to frequent breakdowns in tanks. At the same time, the Object 155ML, a T-55 fitted with a launcher 439M14 Malyutka, NATO code, at 3 Saga, ATGMs mounted on the rear of the turret, was tested. Along with standard tanks, a flamethrower-armed version was designed, designated T-55, Object 482, which was produced until 1962. It was fitted with 460-liter tanks filled with flammable liquid instead of the frontal hull fuel tanks. The flamethrower replaced the coaxial machine gun. This was a much better way to mount a flamethrower than in the experimental Object 483, based on the T-54 tank, where the flamethrower replaced the main gun. T-55 flamethrower tanks were withdrawn from service in 1993. T-55 In 1961, development of improved NBC protection systems began. The goal was to protect the crew from fast neutrons. Adequate protection against gamma radiation was provided by the thick armor and a PA's basic NBC protection system. The POV plasticized lead anti-radiation lining was developed to provide the needed protection. It was stored in the interior, requiring the driver's hatch and the coamings over the turret hatches to be noticeably enlarged. This liner had the added benefit of protecting the crew from fragments of penetrated armor. The tank was equipped with a full PAS/FVU chemical filtration system. The coaxial 7.62mm SGM machine gun was replaced by a 7.62mm PKT machine gun. The hull was lengthened from 6.04m to 6.2m. The hull machine gun was removed, making space for 6 more main gun rounds. These changes increased the weight of the vehicle to 38 tons. The design work was done by OKB 520 Design Bureau of Ural-Vagan Zavod under the leadership of Leonid N. Kartsev. The T-55 served as the basis for the T-55 AK Command Tank. 7. T-54/T-55 upgrades. A Somali National Army T-55. In its long service life, The T-55 has been upgraded many times. Early T-55s were fitted with a new T-52B-32P sight. In 1959 some tanks received mountings for the PT-55 mine clearing system of the BTU /.